doing? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We hit the start recording. Hopefully we don't run into too many internet issues like we did yesterday, but that's okay. That's okay. We're back. Hello, everybody. My name is Snowy Lotus. Welcome back to the Snowy Show. It is April 29th. We got 1 day left of April. That's crazy. What happened? It's already April? What happened? Where did it all go? Where'd the time go? We're having too much fun every day. That's what happened. We're having too much fun every day. We keep showing up. We're having a good time. Welcome TikTokers. Welcome. Hope you're all having a good day. My name is Snowy Lotus. Welcome to the Snowy Show. Like I said, it's April 29th, second to last day of April. It is 9:07 p.m. I am exactly 7 minutes and 5 seconds late. Fantastic. Welcome. So today we're going to be doing story prompts. For those who don't know, story prompts are basically where we take a couple prompts and we try to answer the first, last, best, and worst time, or the worst story we can come up with related to that prompt. So today the prompts are going to be, can we read this? Can we read this on the TikTok side? I think y'all can read this. The window's a bit small on my end. Today we're going to be talking about manga and anime. Yay. Fun. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about manga and anime. We're going to be talking about the first, last, best, and worst. I'm going to change that to best and worst. I was advised to do this by the one and only Sayu, who shows up every once in a while. Wants to end it on a good note. I was like, all right, I understand that. All right, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, your girl Dee. welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. I think this is viewable on the YouTube side. Let me check real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get started. The last short I made actually did pretty well. I got like 1.4K. It's kind of crazy. I have an idea for a short I'm going to be putting together. Hopefully I can get it all finished and done with on Sunday. Hopefully we can do that. I think Sundays are going to be my Sundays are going to be my like kind of push stuff day. My try hard days. That's what Sundays are going to be. Okay, let's go ahead and increase the size a little bit. Yeah, so Sundays are going to be the days where I try to push. I try to do a bit more, put a lot more effort into the editing. I think that's what Sundays are going to be for. Like, I'm spending like 3 or 4 hours potentially editing. That's what I'm hoping to do on Sundays. I think it looks good on the TikTok side. I think it looks good enough. We have a good idea of what's happening. Okay. Fantastic. Welcome in. All right. So we're talking about manga first. So like I was saying before, how this works is I will have the prompt, and in this case it is manga. And basically what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you a story of the first manga I read, the last manga I read, the worst one, and the best one. And we're going to do that with anime as well. This is kind of a reoccurring show I think we're going to keep doing. I would like to kind of expand this into doing collabs with other people. I think that kind of thing would be fun. So yeah, with that being said, let's get started. So manga, what was my first manga? Now, I will say I will probably add manhwa into here. I don't read manga nearly as much as I used to. I read a lot more manhwa, a lot more webtoons now. That's because honestly, manhwa is just so much more accessible. It's so much easier to get. It's actually, you can actually get it legit. You don't gotta pirate it. Thank you, webtoons. Thank you, Tappy Tunes. Okay, so what was my first one? What was my first manga? Oh man, it might not be exactly my first, but the one that I remember standing out the most to me, and that we'll bend the rules a little bit. We're bending the rules a little bit. Is Toriko. Now, Toriko is no longer in serialization. It is a hello, Anthony. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're doing story prompts. Anthony, I think this is your first story prompts. I'm not sure if you watched some of our other ones. Essentially what story prompts is I have a prompt. Today it's going to be manga and anime. And basically I got to try to answer the question, what was your first manga? What was your last manga? What was the worst manga you read? And what was the best manga you read? So that's what we're doing today. And we are currently on manga. And my first manga that I remember, it might have been different, but the one I remember very clearly was Toriko. Now, Toriko is not serialized anymore. It was in it was in Shonen Jump. You know, those big, now I think it had its own separate volumes as well, but I remember being back in middle school, going into my middle school's library and finding the big Shonen Jump like books, and I remember always going to find Toriko. I didn't read much Toriko, but out of any manga, that's probably the earliest memory I have of reading a manga was Toriko. Now, Toriko was your typical Shonen Jump action battle manga. The twist is that everything in the world kind of revolved around food. It revolved around cooking food, making food, and the characters, the people, they were all chefs, all in search of rare and rare food. And I think, I'm not too sure how the power system worked, but I think it was something like the rarer the animal that you can catch, the better of a hunter you are. It's something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I remember very vividly seeing some of the panels of the food. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing stuff. Maybe I can pull it up. I might be able to pull. Yeah, but I remember it very, very vividly. Where's a good one? Yeah, they had some pretty crazy art. Where's a good one? Here, let me meet. There's some pretty where. Oh yeah. This might be it. Oh, hold on. This might be it. Let me pop this up here. Yeah, so this, I remember it might not have been this specifically, but this is a very vivid. This is a very vivid memory I have. Yeah, so this is one of the panels, and I remember I think I was in middle school sitting there reading, and I was seeing this like cut of meat. I'm like, bro, this is what I remember so like vividly. And this is a pretty I mean, this is pretty old. This is a pretty old manga. Yeah, this is pretty old. I'm not too sure how old it is, but that was my first one. This is the first manga I remember. Now, it might have just been Shonen Jump just in general, because that's what I read, the Shonen Jump. And I actually didn't really get into anime or manga before middle school. I just wasn't really exposed to it. Now my friends, actually Epic Box, who is a good friend of mine. They haven't streamed recently, but you know, they stream too. They actually have a manga that they've made. It's pretty good. They were one of the first people to kind of introduce me to this, introduce me to manga, introduce me to anime, and we'll get into that. But what's my last manga I read? What's the most recent one I read? It was probably a webtoons. I could probably look it up real quick. I might be able to look it up real quick. And then right, bear with me. Yeah, so yeah, it was a webtoons, because like I was saying, I don't really read manga nearly as much anymore. And while there is Shonen Jump in the you know, app, it's still kind of, you know, it's still difficult to follow along, and even then a lot of that stuff isn't really, you know, it's not it's not kept up to date, because you don't really have access to a lot of manga over here in the West, because most of it over here in the West is just pirated, because there is no legitimate way to actually get a hold of manga, and it's like kind of crazy. It's like kind of crazy. Which one? My first ever manga is Kaiju number 8. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good one. I enjoyed it. I didn't finish it, but I did enjoy it quite a lot. Okay, so my last here, I can let's do this. So where is it? I might be able to, here it is. Kaijin 8. Yeah, no, I gotcha. I can't pull it up this way. Here, let me I'm just gonna pull a picture off Google, and I'll just explain from there. I will explain from there. No, I need a. Bear with me. Ah, JPEG, thank you. I guess I'm gonna be pulling up a lot of pictures. Okay, so my webtoon I read most recently was The Stellar Swordmaster. This is the most recent one because it just the newest chapter just came out last night. So yeah, that's the one I read. The Stellar Swordmaster is the story about a kid who grew up in the slums, but for some unknown reason was chosen by a sword. And in the sword is some sort of ghost, some sort of spirit. And this spirit just so happened to be found, this sword just so happened to be found by this kid in the slums. And there might be more to it, like the guy was chosen. There's kind of hints that the main character has a more royal background than, you know, what his childhood would I don't know, show, because he grew up in the slums. He grew up, you know, as a street urchin. He worked in a brothel growing up. But it's kind of the story about him coming into his own. There's a power system called uh, a world, and each kind of sword master or each kind of seems like other people have the power to manifest their world, which is basically a more physical embodiment on reality. It's a, how do I say this? It's a way that the sword master or seemingly mages in the series can like manifest their will in reality. It's a way they can kind of bring forth the world they desire. And depending on how deep your world goes, depending on how deep your I'm kind of spitballing, but depending on how deep your philosophy of everything goes, your beliefs go, the deeper your world is, and which makes you stronger. It's a very, very interesting concept. The art, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's probably one of the best current webtoons artistically that I'm reading. It's absolutely gorgeous. The art style is amazing. Combat sequences are amazing. The choreography in the combat is fantastic. There's tons of moments where it's just those long. If you read webtoons or you read web comics, Korean web comics, sometimes there's those super long panels of just like all this like combat or these like super intricately drawn art. Fantastic. I absolutely love it. I've been reading it since what was it? So it came out on webtoons and I fully caught up with it. And then I went to like a pirate, like a place where it was getting pirated, because before it came to webtoons, it was somewhere else. And then it came to webtoons. I think it was translated from Korean. I don't really know how the life cycle of some of these webcomics go, because a lot of the times when something comes to webtoons and it's like a new manga or new manhwa or whatever, a lot of the time it's already been somewhere else for potentially years and it's just now coming to webtoons. And so a lot of the time there's like 60 plus chapters out there somewhere else that you can pirate. and so I found the Stellar Swordmaster and I just binge read the whole thing. You found my live again. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. It's because you subscribed. Subscribe. I remember you. Yes, I remember you. I remember you too. You were hungry yesterday, I think. We're talking about manga and anime. I know a lot of people like that. I know I've had people come in talking about that. So we're doing story prompts. I think this is your first story prompt. So essentially what a story prompt is I come up with some sort of prompt. Today we're talking about manga and anime. And then I got to tell you the first manga I've read, the last manga I read, the worst one, and then the best one. So currently we are talking about the last. It's not a manga, it's a manhwa, and it is the Stellar Swordmaster. It's fantastic. It's on webtoons if you're interested. If you're, I might be able to post the link if you're interested. But so anyway, Stellar Swordmaster came out on webtoons. It was, a newly released manga. I caught up to it. I think the first 6 or so chapters came out free, and then I went to a like pirated website and I binge read the rest. And I loved it so much that even after reading it all, I then reread it every single week to week on webtoons, because I read my manga week to week. I don't pay for any of the webtoons. I have a kind of schedule where I have different manhwa that comes out every single day, and so I'm used to that. And so I spent years just reading certain certain comics. But I followed along week to week, rereading everything for a second time. I've never done that with any manhwa before or any comic. It was great. I really like it. We're gonna move on. But yeah, it was great. Okay, the worst manga I've ever read. So there's a lot of. I'm gonna say a manga. I'm not gonna say a manhwa. There are some bad, like some kind of not good manhwa, but not in the like, oh, the story kind of sucks, but more like, I mean, yeah, it's part of it, but it's just kind of everything is pretty low quality. I'm not gonna talk about that. Instead, I have read a lot of very niche, very niche manga. Like I've gone down the rabbit hole. I've read a lot of I have read a lot of manga. I use manga decks. That's what I use. But what's the worst one? What's the worst manga I've ever read? Oh, excuse me. I want to say Rent a Girlfriend. I want to say Rent a Girlfriend. I really do. But I don't know. I kind of do. But after seeing somebody on Twitter say that Rent a Girlfriend is literally just like Spanish soap operas, but manga, I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense now. This makes sense now. I don't think I caught up to it because like I just kind of got annoyed by it because it would be, you know, constantly like it doesn't really end. There is really not an ending. It's always cliffhanger after cliffhanger. Nothing's really happening. And it's just kind of like slop, which a lot of people like. A lot of people like it, and, you know, fine, good for them. What? Because most of the time I don't really read bad manga because I mean, if it's bad, I'm just not gonna read it. Okay. Where I'm gonna be honest. My favorite genre of manga. My favorite genre of manga is isekai. I am a big isekai slop enjoyer. I really love isekai. Like, I will watch isekai slop all day. I don't care. I try to watch. I have watched. I'm pretty sure Rent a Girlfriend, the most trashiest manga ever. Yeah, I do agree. Welcome back, Gohan. But how about this? I saw someone on Twitter say that Rent a Girlfriend is basically just Spanish soap operas, but manga. so the kind of show that kind of just you play in the background, but it's just kind of there forever. My friend reads manga. Okay, that's cool. Do you read manga? Have you ever read any manga? What's a bad one? I remember. Oh, what was it? What? Hold on. Oh, you don't read manga. Okay, that's fine. Sorry. Where was I at? Where's I at? What was I talking about? I think I was trying to figure out. Where is. Yeah, so most of the manga I have read are. Man, because I might have just like, I might have just blocked it out of my head. There's been a lot of horror manga that just kind of suck. There's, yeah, you know, I'm good. I'm good. My dad came into my room. So yeah, so there's like a lot of horror manga that like suck. I remember one specifically where, what was it? It was basically a horror manga where like all the characters were like tortured because they like bullied this one like kid, and like the kid became like a killer, and the killer wore like a pumpkin on their head. um um where yeah, pumpkin head. I think it was literally called Pumpkin Night. I think it might be called Pumpkin Night. I remember that it's like, it's just not good. It's just not good. Is this it? This might be it. This might be it. Yeah, it's I've read like a lot of like trashy, just like kind of just garbage. Just kind of, yeah, this is it. Pumpkin Night. The art is fine, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of, it just kind of sucks because I don't know. A lot of the time it kind of felt like, oh, I'm just doing all this like bloody, gory stuff just cause. And like, I don't know. I don't really read horror manga like that. I used to, because I used to be very, I would read anything. I would read literally anything because I just wanted to read more and more. And so I would go down whatever website I was using, and I would read anything that seemed just a little bit interesting. So I've read tons and tons and tons. So I think we're gonna say Pumpkin Night, because this is the one that I kind of remember, and I was like, it's just kind of, it has stuck in my head. Oh shoot. It's stuck in my head as being one of the more like, oh, this is kind of just garbage. This is just kind of garbage. Oh, here we are. We got 10. Yeah, so we got Pumpkin. Yeah, and like I was saying, the art is fine, but it's more like it's more like there's not really much of a point to all this like death and destruction other than just for it to happen. And the reason the main character, sorry, the killer is doing this is because one day during like prom or something, a bunch of bullies like put a bunch of fireworks in a bucket or something and put it on this one kid's head. I don't know. It was like awful. And then because of that, you know, the person tortures them. And like the main character of it is like the love interest, but kind of didn't really stop this. But I think also did try, and the killer, I don't know. There's like some reasoning they give. There's like some reasoning they give for like why the killer's doing this, and like I don't know. It felt like slop, I guess. I don't know the best way to put it, but it's always just kind of stuck in my head as just kind of slop, and that's that. We're gonna move on. Manga, my favorite manga ever. Huh. I'm gonna have to say it. Gonna have to say it. One Piece. It's One Piece. I mean, come on. Come on. I'm gonna have to say it. I have to go. See you tomorrow. Okay, bye. See ya. See ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So yeah, it's probably One Piece. I'm gonna be honest. It's One Piece, man. It's in my mind, what One Piece um what One Piece is basically, the Odyssey, all the way back in the Greek, the Greek mythology, like the Odyssey, Odysseus and all that. This like super long adventure. It's one of the pinnacle stories of humanity. It's like, it's elevated to that level. One Piece, gonna go watch some One Piece D&D. Okay. There you go. Fantastic. So One Piece is essentially the modern day Odyssey by far. Like nothing even comes close. One Piece is such an expansive story covering so many different moral concepts, political concepts, philosophical concepts, all seemingly almost perfectly done. I don't really understand how Oda did it, because from what I understand, One Piece was originally supposed to end after, like, in the Blue Sea. If you know One Piece, the first like main arc was the Blue Sea. It's kind of the starting area for the whole journey. It was supposed to end there. But then it just kind of grew and grew, and somehow everything is just kind of perfect. It all just like worked out. It's literally a once in, I mean, hello, welcome Nova, welcome in. We're talking about One Piece and how One Piece is the best manga ever made, and how seemingly somehow Oda, the creator of One Piece, the author, somehow created one of the like a probably once in a millennium piece of work. I don't understand how they did it, but this is going to be, once One Piece is done, it will stand as close to the top. What's up Edgar? Welcome in. Yeah, so once One Piece is over, it will stand as one of humanity's best works of art. It will stand alongside, if not lapping the Odyssey as a story by far. Like there's no comparison here, like at all. Pokemon, I mean, Pokemon's gonna be up there, but I think as like, if we're comparing it to the Odyssey, I mean, I think One Piece is gonna lap the Odyssey because of the medium One Piece is in, with the anime and with the manga. I mean, dude, come on. I mean, it's really such it's like an evolved form of the Odyssey, right? And it's probably not going to be no, it's going to take like hundreds of years for humanity to ever create another piece of work that rivals One Piece. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes another millennium. I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to take a long time. I mean, I think it's one of the best works of art humanity has ever created. I'll say it. Okay, we're moving on to anime. We like anime here. Like I was saying earlier, I don't read as much manga anymore. That's also kind of the same with anime. If I do watch anime, I've actually been watching To Be Hero X, and I've been watching that. I was last night I was actually watching it's an isekai. What's it called? It's called The Beginning from hold on. What's it called? It's called The Beginning After the End, season 2. It's more isekai slop. It's my favorite kind of anime. That's my favorite kind of anime. I'll get to it. But my first anime. I mean, it was probably Pokemon. It was probably either Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z. It was one of those two. Or Naruto. It might have been Naruto. Because I would watch on Cartoon Network. Or maybe Samurai Jack. Maybe one of those. Oh, hey, what's up? Welcome back. Showed back up here. Yeah, Toma came back. We're talking about anime. We're talking about anime. We're doing story prompts today. Basically, I give a prompt and I got to answer the first time, last time, worst time, and best time. Toma came back. As Toma came back. We're talking about my first anime. And I don't want to say Pokemon because, you know, Dragon Ball Z was up there. I know Samurai Jack was up there. That was a lot of fun. And I would classify Samurai Jack as an anime, because of how much it derives from anime, how much it derives from older samurai films. Its artistic elements, the camera work, I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful series. So what would I say? I kind of, when I started getting into anime, I was in middle school, you know, with the manga. I actually hadn't read One Piece yet. I didn't start watching One Piece until high school, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I remember back in middle school going over to one of my friends' houses. This is Epic Box. Like when I was talking about them earlier. They were the one that kind of got me first into anime, getting me into manga. And I remember going over to their house one night, and I remember hanging out with them. It was over the weekend. I think it was a Saturday night. We stayed up all night watching anime. I think he got in trouble the next day. But oh, what is it? Yeah, so we were watching anime on Netflix. And I remember I think one of the first anime that I watched that I'm like, oh, when I go home, I'm gonna keep watching this. Oh, what was it? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The first one I remember like really liking and like really being into it was Rosario X Vampire. This, now I'll be straight up with you. I'm a guy and I was in middle school, right? Here, let me my first ever anime is Pokemon. Yeah, it's probably the same for me. I'm gonna be honest. It's probably the same for me. But that's not as fun, right? That's not as fun. It's like, yeah, it's Pokemon. I enjoyed watching Pokemon. I loved it. But I'll say Rosario Vampire because this is a bit more interesting. Art style, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Love it. I absolutely love it. So let me, Sario. I think it was and Vampire. Is it? Oh, it's, how do I spell it? Oh, yeah, okay, no, it's higher. Okay. All right. Yeah, so it was Rosario and Vampire. Now this is a it's a harem. It's a harem manga. Harem. This is the manga. But I watched the anime first. Yeah, I watched the anime. Can I put this up? I'm not sure if I can put this up. Can I put this up? Okay, I think I can put this up. I think it should be okay. I'm just gonna keep the manga. I'm just gonna keep the manga. It's a little bit risque, right? But I